I'm hoping you guys can hear me okay. I cannot find my mic anywhere. I tried to use my Power Beats. That didn't work. We thought maybe it would because you can do an external microphone, but it didn't work. Let's get started.
Yeah. Even in my wildest dreams, I didn't think we were destined to be. And now you're laying next to me. Everything feels like, yeah.
Good evening, everybody. The first thing I want to do is thank Sandy over at Let's Get Fit with Sandy for inviting me to do this collab. I'm going to share a little bit about myself so you guys can kind of get a feel for where I'm at. So I started Weight Watchers for the first time back in, I think, 2016 on very late September 13th, I think it was. And I lost 130 pounds on Weight Watchers when it was Weight Watchers back then. And it was actually Smart Points back then. And I did so well on Smart Points. And I just kept going and going. And for some reason, I was really committed to the plan. I stuck to it. I did super well, and I ended up losing 130 pounds. I got down to Wonderland barely, and then I went back up again, got back down to Wonderland because I only gained like 5 pounds at that time, or maybe 10. Got back down into Wonderland, went back up again, and I think this will be the third time I'm trying to get back down into Wonderland again. And I've got a ways to go. I think I've got 70 pounds to go before I get to that point again. And so I've gained 70 some pounds back. And it's tough. It's tough. I started out this whole program at 330 pounds. So I'm still way down from that point. So I'm thankful for that. So Sandy has some questions here that she wants us to answer for you guys. What I'm going to do is answer these questions as I would have when I was doing really well. I remember the time so vividly because I was so happy. I was just really motivated. I have my whole journey so far documented on YouTube. So if you want to go back to my older videos, I started out at, I think I had lost 25 pounds when I first started. My first video was I lost 25 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the questions right away. But yes, I wanted to thank Sandy over at Let's Get Fit with Sandy. Be sure to check out her videos. She is awesome. Such a fun lady. I actually got a chance to meet her. She is just as nice in person as she is on camera. Super nice lady. Check her videos out. And then also check all the other ladies out down below. And I think there's actually some guys in there this time too. I know for sure one. And check them out down below in the description box. But let's get started with question number 1. So number 1, Sandy asked us, how do we schedule our habits into our daily life? For me, when I first started, I always used a journal. I use an Erin Condren journal. I've always used an Erin Condren journal. I just write in there. And then I thought I needed just a special one because the Erin Condren journal was just for like all of our family things and for my Weight Watcher stuff as well. And I thought I need just like a regular journal to journal what I eat down. Besides putting it on the app, on Weight Watchers app, I did track it on there too. And that was another thing I 100% tracked. So I started using this journal, and it really helped me kind of stay focused, and I could just flip through instead of having to check the app all the time. And I thought, well, if something ever happens to this app, I have my journal that I can read back on and figure out where I went wrong or where I went right during that time. So I would do a lot of journaling, a lot of writing stuff down. Videos, of course, YouTube. I did a video, I think, almost every single day back then for a year or more, I don't know. And that's when I would do the best. When I was filming my food every day, when I was on YouTube sharing stuff with you guys, I always would do so well. And then when I wasn't filming, I wouldn't do as well because I'm like, well, I don't have to share it, so I can just eat whatever I want to. Big mistake on my part, big mistake. And I'm starting to realize that now, like I need to get back to filming constantly. When my internet has been acting up, I haven't been able to upload anything. Like even for this video, I'm gonna have to go into the nearest city. It's just been a struggle, but we did order Starlink, so I'm gonna be back really soon, and then I can go back to my daily videos. I am so excited to get that, but I will be back regularly very, very soon. So that's usually what I would do. It really helped me. It helped a lot. So number 2 is, how do you stick to your schedule? Right now, I'm not doing any schedule as of right now. I need to get back into that. But before, when I first started Weight Watchers, was doing really good, I would always have like a specific time where I would eat. I would always eat breakfast at like 8 o'clock. And I'd always have pretty much the same thing. I'd always eat hard boiled eggs, well, soft boiled eggs. I like soft boiled eggs. And then some fruit with that. So I'm going to try to get back to the beginning things that I used to do back when I first started. Yeah, I would have breakfast at 8. I'd always have like some sort of a snack at 10, lunch at 12 or 1, another small snack at 3, usually fruit or something high in protein, cottage cheese, yogurt, stuff like that. And then I'd have dinner. I try to always have dinner early, like 5 or 6, and then I'd always give myself a snack at about 7 or 8. Now, after I lost, let's say 100 pounds, I think it was, I kind of almost stopped doing the late night snack so much because I wanted to do more of a intermittent fasting kind of thing. Even like when we had a day where we would eat like crazy, we would lose pretty good the next week that came along. My husband is on this plan with me. That brings me to question number 3. How do you focus on what you want to accomplish? Corey and I, we are on this journey together. Now, he started after I've lost 50 pounds a couple years back, and he was actually at 380 pounds, I think, almost 400 pounds, somewhere right around that area. And he started after I lost my first 50 pounds. He's like, well, if you can stick to that, and I know you're going to keep doing it, because guys, I've always done this a gazillion times and failed every single time. This is the only time that I've actually lost this much weight and really stuck to it for over a year. It was amazing. I don't know how I did it. I don't know what I was thinking, but I know I was in the right mindset for whatever reason. And I can tell you that my Weight Watcher leaders had a lot to do with it. I had 2 really great Weight Watcher leaders that were awesome. And of course, now I'm not going to meetings and it's really affecting me, I think. So I may consider actually going back to the meetings just to get back on track again and get myself moving again, because that really did inspire me as well. How did I focus? I think what I did was I made it to, I would concentrate on 5 pounds at a time. I wouldn't look at the big picture. Like I needed to lose 100 and I don't even know, 170 pounds, something like that. I didn't want to look at that huge number. I would look at it as 5 pound increments and then go from there. It was so much easier on myself when I did that. And I'm telling you guys, the weight just kind of flew off at first right away when I was doing well in tracking. I could tell when I wasn't tracking because the weight would slow way down and it wouldn't come off very easily. And then some weeks I was doing really well and it didn't come off at all. But then I saw it the next week or the week after. So don't give up on your weeks. If you have a bad week and you did really well, don't get upset about that. It happens a lot. It happened a lot to me. And then the following week or even 2 weeks later, I would see a huge loss when I stuck to my plan. Number 4, she asked, how do you stop making excuses for yourself? I don't know. I still make excuses. I think everybody does. And you don't even realize you're doing it half the time, but I still do it. And I know after I hear myself and I'm filming myself talking and I'm like, wow, I just made an excuse right there. And I don't even realize I'm saying it or doing it. I just realize it when I'm editing my videos. I'm like, wow, after filming myself and having to edit all this, I see it. So I just do. And I think everybody does once in a while. If you're focused enough, you stop making those excuses after a while. It gets easier after you lose and you're really excited about seeing that loss. You're feeling better. You can move more. You stop making those excuses then. But then when you goof up and you start gaining that weight back, in comes all the excuses again. Like, well, mine, the internet. And could I make videos? And with this terrible internet, yes, I could. I could drive into town. I'm just not wanting to do that because we're trying to save money and gas, more excuses. So you find ways to make excuses. And if you are really ready, those excuses will stop and then you'll just do it. So I think I need to, when I edit this video, I'm going to be saying, yep, there are my excuses. Number 5, she asks, are you doing it with a partner or are you doing it by yourself? I'm doing it with Corey. We both have been kind of screwing up lately though, and Corey's actually gained more weight back. So he hasn't weighed himself in a while, and I'm going to let you guys know what he gained back. But Corey had lost 175 pounds, and I lost 130. He passed me right up. He was just going to town. He never had any fails, nothing. He just went and did it. Every week he'd have a little loss or a big loss. Mainly, 2 to 3 pound losses he would get. And then there's times when he'd have a gain. He'd realize why he had the gain, and then he'd fix it and he'd move on. He'd have a huge loss the next week. I did the weigh-in results when we had the little booklets and they still had the stickers, and I showed him every single week, and he did so well. So having a partner really does help. We still find that we just do our own thing pretty much. I mean, I cook dinner and then we eat the same dinner, but he'll have a different lunch than I will, or he'll have a different breakfast than I will. And it's just a partnership that you kind of talk about it at the end of the night a little bit, like, how did you do? And, but at least they're there. They know what you're going through because they're going through the same thing. So it really helps. But yes, I do have a partner that I'm working with, and I'm really thankful for that. Number 6, just because it doesn't follow your plan, how do you make it work? And she mentions here, like, for her, everyone going out for lunch on Fridays, and I don't have the right ingredients for a recipe. What kind of stops you from making the right choices, I guess, is what she means by that. For me, I was really diligent in my first part of my journey, the first year or two. I had everything under control. I knew what I needed to do. I knew what I couldn't bring into the house, and I didn't bring it into the house. Once I brought that into the house, I knew I would eat it. So I just did not bring it into the house. Anything that was special for Nick that he wanted, he took in his room. It was away from me. When we went out to parties or went out to eat, or we pretty much stopped going out to eat all together. Once in a great while we'd go out, like for our anniversary, and I think I did an anniversary video where we had like 130 points because we had steak and we had dessert, and we figured it all out. We figured out all the points, and it was around 130 points throughout the whole entire day. And we didn't even eat lunch, guys. We had a 0-point breakfast, so it's pretty much all dinner items. We had a great time. We didn't let that stop us. So when you have special days, you have to go and you have to enjoy yourself. You can't just say, no, I can't do that. Now, if we had a lot of parties to go to, I would always bring my own stuff. I would always bring something with me that would kind of help fill me up. Or most of the time when we went out, they would have vegetable trays or fruit trays, and I'd make sure I stuck to those trays. And also another thing I would always do is eat before I left for this party, so I wasn't starving when I got there, and then I could eat just vegetables and be okay. And nobody ever said a word to me. I mean, they saw what I was eating. They never said anything to me. And really, if they did, I wouldn't care. You really have to be strong in your journey and just not care what other people think. If you want to eat a plate of vegetables, that's nobody's business but your own. Nobody's ever said anything to me about it. So that's one thing that I would always do, is just eat before I went, eat a healthy dinner, and then I would have like vegetables and fruit when I got there. And that really helped me stay on track. Even for like any sort of holiday things or anything that we would have, I'd always make something special for myself and have that. When everybody else would have like pumpkin pie, I would have like a pumpkin yogurt with a little whipped cream on it. It was pretty much the same thing. Nobody ever said anything to me about it. Number 7, how do you design your everyday life? When I first started, I made a plan. I had a plan of what I was going to eat pretty much the entire day. Most of the time I'd have the same foods for breakfast, sometimes even for lunch, and then I'd make a special dinner every single night. We'd have something different to look forward to instead of you having the same thing, week after week. So I'd always try to find new foods to cook. I would always make a plan. I'd usually track beforehand, so I knew what I was getting myself into for the day, and then I would know what kind of snacks I could have in the day. And I was such a planner then, and I'm not anymore. And I'm just kind of like, oh, why am I not planning anymore? I think I've gotten lazy. I think that's it. And I need to get back to what I was doing before. And I think one of my goals this week is to watch some of my older videos when I first started, to see where I started going wrong. What was I doing at the time I started goofing up and doing stuff wrong? I took pretty much a whole year off when I had my grandkids for the whole entire year. It was just way too hard to film, and I didn't really want them on camera too much. So I just didn't film that whole entire year. And at after 6 months of having them, I was getting kind of tired. I was just ready to have my regular life back so I could get back to filming. I missed filming so much. I love filming. And I don't know how I didn't do it for a year because I don't know, I just missed it so much. And when I started back here a couple months ago again, I was like, oh yes, this feels right. I did so well. I was losing again. I started losing again, and then I stopped because the internet was goofing up again. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna deal with this. I don't want to have to drive into town every day. So I got upset, and I just kind of like, oh, here goes another week. Oh, another week, and it's just so frustrating. And I have a couple of videos I started this Savory Saturday thing where I would make a different meal every Saturday that was, higher points, because we always like a high point meal sometimes, just something to really like look forward to. So I started doing Savory Saturdays where the points were a little bit higher, but the dish was delicious. And then those had to stop, and I have 2 of them that I'm working on now uploading, and they keep failing. So I have to figure it out. I have to figure out how I'm going to upload videos until we get our Starlink in. I just hope it's soon. They say this fall, so I'm going to trust that. It's all in beta yet, so they have not really been shipping to this area yet, but they say that this area should be shipping out in fall. How do you make a habit important to you and not feel defeated when you screw up? Well, I have been feeling totally defeated. I have been. And that's another thing I need to just, I'm not sure how to reset my mindset. I need to reset it. I think maybe watching my first videos may help that. I'm really sure it will, because I know it helped me in the past. Whenever I would start feeling myself getting close to screwing up, I would go back to my old videos. And I have my 100-pound loss video. I'll link it down below, but it is the video that I usually go to because I was so happy in that video. In that video, I was at 100 and I think 10 pounds lost at that time, and I lost 20 more pounds after that. And I felt like Superwoman in that video. I was just so happy. And I felt like, hey, I'm gonna do it this time. I feel it. And I only had like 50 pounds to go to get to goal. I only had 50 pounds to go. I'm like, I can do this. And I don't know what changed. To this day, I have no idea why I just all of a sudden decided I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't know. I really don't. I don't remember if something happened around that time. I don't remember. I just know that I give up on it. Stopped tracking, and I was a person that tracked religiously every single day. I did not miss a single thing I put in my mouth. I tracked every single thing. I don't know. All I know now is that right now I have to be okay with it. I have to be okay with that weight I gained, be thankful that I'm not back at 330 where I started from. I really am so thankful for that. The things that I didn't do is go back to my regular eating habits, like eating out McDonald's every day pretty much. I did not do that. I didn't start drinking regular soda again. We don't even go out to Subway anymore. We eat at home 100% of the time, thankfully, because if I had went back to that, I would definitely be back at 330 right now. And we all know how fast you can gain that weight back. It does not take very long at all to gain the weight back. When you feel defeated, the only thing you can do is stop feeling sorry for yourself and say, hey, I'm going to do this for me. I love myself enough to do this. And so let's get back on track again. That's what I got to tell myself now. Like, love yourself enough to do something about it and not let it go any further. I think even if I have to drive into town, I'm going to have to do it a couple days this week to kind of kickstart my way back into this and try and film videos again every day, because it's the only thing that really gets me going. Except for you guys calling me. And I know I've been talking to Bee at Bee's Journey. She's actually in the collab, so check her out down below as well. She had called me a few times now. We'll sit there and talk for an hour about stuff, and it's really nice. Talked to Sandy on the phone the other day, and it's just so nice to talk to YouTubers that are going through the same issues. That's the only way we're going to make it through, is to help each other out, and then to get strong on ourselves and stop feeling sorry for ourselves and stop making excuses like I had been doing. I will be doing regular videos again. I promise you that. I will be back. I really miss it. I really miss watching all the videos. That is the end of the collab. I'm so thankful that you guys stopped over to watch it and that I was able to get this out there. Hopefully it uploads okay and makes it out there on time. But again, I want to thank Sandy over at Let's Get Fit with Sandy, and check out all of the lovely people down below in the description box, because they are going to give their 2 cents on all of this as well. And I'm really excited to see everybody's video. And I think to celebrate, I'm going to actually do a what I ate tomorrow. We have to go into town tomorrow to get groceries, so I'm going to go ahead and film a what I ate tomorrow, and I'm going to go ahead and upload it tomorrow to try to get myself back into the game. I may only be uploading like twice a week until our Starlink gets here, but I need to start somewhere and get going and get back at this. So thank you, Sandy, for getting me back on YouTube. I never want to turn down a collab. I love collabs. I love doing them. So if anybody wants to invite me to a collab, just email me, because I may not see it. Just email me. My email is down below in the description box. Let me know that you tagged me or that you invited me to do a collab, whatever it is, let me know, and I will be glad to join in. I'm always able to upload in town if I just drive in town. It's like 35 minutes into town, so it's not too bad, and I can always do it when we go into shop and stuff. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, or if you want to watch my renewed journey again. I don't know how many times we all have to say again, but it is again. I promise I will be back on regularly very soon. I will talk to you guys on the next video. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.
Wanna give you every part of me. I can't believe this is reality. And now you're laying next to me. Everything feels like art, yeah. I'm just curious. When did you know you had feelings for me? Maybe somehow we've always known that we have chemistry, but always chasing after someone else. So this took me